And
And we
we're
should be
live.
live. Yeah. All right, cool.
Cool. Man, it is. I was actually thinking about this while you were setting up your dual headphone shenanigan, which we should explain in a few moments. It's been like 2 months, a month and a half since I've streamed. I didn't realize it's been that long, but I used to do this like twice a week on average, and now it's almost nothing. It feels weird and kind of good to be back.
Yeah. Yeah, live streaming is it's a lot of fun, especially being able to interact with people and like, just hear about, how people's days are going and just have that instant like gratification with people. It's or instant reaction with people. It's really nice.
Yeah. Speaking of which, can you just, for the sake of the 0 to 2 people who've probably joined so far, what is going on with your headphones? What are you doing?
Yeah. Okay, so I have a thing called a Go XLR, which is it's kind of like an audio device that allows you to combine audio from a bunch of different computers. And I have two computers, and the audio is being routed through both of them. But for some reason, the audio from my MacBook, which is what I'm kind of using right now for this, isn't going into these headphones. So what I did is I plugged these headphones into the Mac so I can hear you, and then these headphones are going over top so I can hear myself, because I'm
Okay.
I don't know. I'm a little wild when it comes to audio. I want it to be very good, right? So
Sure.
I try very hard. Yeah.
That's great. You've got a Matryoshka doll set up in there.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Cool. But it's working?
It is. I can hear you. I think I hear everything good. So guess we'll see. But yeah, working for now.
I once spoke at a conference where there was some kind of echo thing. It was in a theater. Great conference, by the way, if anyone can clue in which one it was. Like really, really great time, lovely organizers. But like for some reason, there was like a new AD or some weird thing day off, and there was an echo. And for the first like 2 minutes of talking, like when the brain just shuts down when there's a like beyond a certain number of milliseconds. And then after those 2 minutes, I was fine. Like I just snapped and was totally okay with it. It was the weirdest thing.
It takes a little bit of time to get used to. Some people like I'll tell them I hear myself talking, and they're like, "How do you do that?" I don't know. I've been doing it for so long now that I'm just used to it. But when there is an echo, it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Yeah. What's the most ridiculous tech problem that's ever happened to you during like a stream or conference talk or whatnot?
Oh man. Well, ridiculous, or it's my I don't want to say OCD, but my perfectionism coming in, because those are two different answers.
I defer to which one you would prefer to talk about live.
Well, okay, so ridiculousness. So where I used to live, I used to have not very stable internet. And I'd be doing live streams all the time, and this was on like a gaming channel where I would, play video games live and things. And I'd be having a great stream, and just randomly throughout the day, my internet would just go off. And it was extremely frustrating. It happened all of the time, and my internet company basically just said, "Oh, our internet's up good like enough. It's good enough," right? They didn't really ever want to fix it, so it was quite bad. So nobody ever used MediaCom. If that's your internet company, get out, run very far.
MediaCom.
Yeah,
whatever the opposite of a sponsorship is, we just achieved it. Good to know.
Oh yeah, I guess maybe I shouldn't have said that. That's my bad. I shouldn't have said company. Yeah, and then my perfectionism part is like, I spent one time like 5 minutes like adjusting the camera because it just like wasn't perfect, and I was like, I had to like stop myself because it was going to take me like hours, right? So I don't know, a little weird when it comes to that kind of stuff. Hence the double audio, the headphones, and like I gotta, things gotta be kind of just right. So
I feel you. I think I used to be a lot more intense about my setup. I think now, I don't know, maybe it's just that I found out what I like and I just stick with it. Like I haven't had to tweak a while, but we just moved. This is actually my first stream in my new office
cool.
Near Boston. Yay. And I have basically the same setup as before. And I think now what I optimize for is like nostalgia or comfort, where I remember doing it in this way, and that's like just what I don't like change,
Yeah. I'm quite the opposite. I'm always tinkering with stuff, moving cameras around, moving lighting around. I don't know. I can't sit still. I like it to be good, especially when I'm shooting a lot of content. I will say I haven't been shooting as much content recently with my role at Prisma. I'm managing now, so it's not as much content creation. But when I do, it's good.
Mm. Actually, I wanted to ask about the whole Prisma thing. And for the 5 viewers now, we're just chatting before the stream really begins. Mark did not ask for this, but I want to plug Prisma as an employer. Could you tell us what y'all did last week?
Oh man. Yeah, so Prisma is a fully remote company, and one thing we do to be able to kind of like bond and like really get to know each other is we have an offsite every 6 months, and basically the entire company goes somewhere. We spend like kind of a week together. We do a bunch of activities. We hold meetings, eat good food, have good drinks, things like that. Yeah, we just got back from doing that, and it's great. It's a good time. It gives us a lot of like energy post offsite, and we are able to knock a bunch of stuff out, and it's really good, especially when you're not able to see each other all the time. Being in person and spending time together, it really adds a lot to just like camaraderie and team morale. So that's
Sure.
really good.
So just remind me, where did you go?
We went to Majorca, Spain. Yeah, it
Beautiful.
was wonderful. It was right on the beach. It was very nice. It's very nice. Spent a lot of time on the beach. It was a good time.
I love it. Is there some kind of pun one could make about Prisma live streaming Spain?
Personal live streaming in Spain, not that I know of. No.
Okay, because a lot of companies will do like there's a cute name for the retreat or whatever.
Oh, we have like these mottos. Crap, I'm gonna get in trouble. I don't remember this one. We just did it. Island, something about being on an island. I don't know. I can't remember.
Island architecture.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. Flo's our event coordinator. She's gonna write me Slack message, be like, I can't believe you don't remember.
Sorry,
But,
Flo. Also, hi, Flo. Shout out, Flo.
Yeah, Flo's great. Flo's wonderful. Oh, that's right. You worked with Flo. Yeah, she's wonderful.
Yeah. I think I also pretty sure I've met Flo. Prisma actually was the first conference I ever spoke at internationally. It was Prisma Day in 2022. I gave a talk about how Prisma does ridiculously complexly cool TypeScript stuff in the TypeScript SDKs so that you get like really nice auto completion and type safety with your queries. Which is, by the way, I stand by that statement. The things that like Prisma, Zod, other like ORMs and schema validators and such have to do is so cool. But also I remember it was in this really nice outdoor space. The people were lovely. It was really cool to like finally meet European folks who, it's hard to cross-pollinate across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yep.
And also you had this yerba mate beverage over there. You're like, Mark, this is you. Like they had this yerba mate beverage. I forget what it was, but it was very good. Very delicious.
I wasn't around during Prisma days, but I do remember hearing about them and they were a lot of fun. So that's cool. It's interesting how stories or paths crossed in the industry, and we worked together at one point, and now paths cross again and things like that. And yeah, yerba mate, I don't know. I'm just as American as you. I'm not 100% certain. I'm sure we have that over here. I just don't know what that is. So
yeah, I think I'm using the wrong name. Like that's the one we get here, and then there's another one there that it was like the tech workers. Anyway, shout out to the chat, Demian Park. Good to see you again. I remember you from when I used to stream regularly. I'm gonna try to remember to interact with the chat. I was never great at it when I did this regularly, and it's been a while, so no guarantees. But I think people are trickling in. We've kind of stabilized, so I think in a few minutes we'll be ready to begin. Just quick, standard pre-stream notice. Please do ask questions. Let us know if there's anything you want to talk about or things that are unclear. Our goal at the stream is to show off building a cool app. I'm actually really excited about this. I don't get a chance to do real-time stuff very often, nor do I actually work with databases more than once a year. So Mark is definitely a necessary fixture in this pairing to help me with these things.
I hope I'm gonna live up to the hype. I will admit, I've been managing for a while now, so I'm a little rusty. But no, we'll figure it out. I think between the two of us, we'll build something cool for sure.
For sure. But yeah, cool. Let's begin. Mark, would you be up for giving us an introduction of who you are and who do you work for? What do you do?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so my name is Mark. I'm a developer advocate at Prisma. I actually manage the developer advocacy team. And our goal is to create content, documentation, and interact with the community that uses Prisma ORM, Pulse, Accelerate, Optimize, Studio, all of our products, and help you guys build incredible things with it. So that's kind of what I'm focused on. I'm focused on putting out good content and helping people learn things. So then at Prisma, yeah, we build data layer technology. Basically, we build things that help you work with databases a little bit easier. We're very focused on developer experience and just allowing you to be able to do complex things very easily. So,
Hell yeah. I just posted a link in, by the way, fun fact, this is the first time I've ever done this via StreamYard, both the Twitch and YouTube chats to prisma.io.
yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. And also, shout out the Prisma docs. Mark, y'all do a really good job. These are very well written docs. I'm not just saying that because you're sponsoring my conference. I have stated that before and stand by that statement. They're really nice.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we try very hard, and it's an ongoing thing, right? It's an open source thing as well. So if anybody wants to, commit to them, or make a PR to it, that's perfectly fine as well. But I mean, really, a lot of it is the community being vocal and active, and us just responding to those things, and us saying, okay, let's improve this here, improve that there, and add this or whatever. Yeah, I have a lot of cool ideas for the future of our docs as well, which I'm excited about. Even improving them further, hopefully. So.
Cool. I'm also just curious about you personally, Mark. How did you get into being a dev advocate manager person at Prisma?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I've been an engineer for like 10 years. I got out of school, started writing code and, doing kind of, I want to say the normal experience that every engineer goes through. You're a junior, then you work on a team, and I got to the point where I was like kind of a team lead, working for different startups and a couple older companies, but mainly startups. And then when COVID hit, I decided to like just try out being a content creator in the gaming space. And so I've been making content since I was like 15, just on my laptop. I used to make like Minecraft videos on YouTube and stuff. I was doing that throughout college and throughout my entire engineering career, and I was doing that. And when COVID hit, I was like, I got a little bit of money saved up, and I always want to do this, so let's give it a shot. So throughout basically all of COVID for like 3 years, I just really focused on content. And that was going great, but it was highly inconsistent. And some months would be wonderful and some months would be terrible, right? So got to the point where I was kind of fed up of the inconsistency there and doing it by myself, and decided I wanted to get back into work and start engineering again. And then I was talking to a recruiter and I was telling them kind of everything I just said there, and they said, "Have you ever heard about developer relations?" Like, no, what is that? And he basically started explaining it to me, like, you're an engineer that interacts with people and helps them learn things and creates content, which is videos, written content, example projects, things like that, to allow those people to learn your technology. I didn't know that was a thing people got paid to do. I thought that was just like an extra thing that people would do on the side. So from that moment on, I was like, okay, that's what I want to do, right? So I started applying to a bunch of stuff, and I applied to Prisma on like a whim, not thinking they would even really kind of like read my resume, just because I was out of the workforce for a while. And I was like one of the companies that was like, okay, if I really got this would be incredible, right? Had the interview, really hit it off with Nico, who was another member of our team, and yeah, now I'm here. So the main reason I'm doing this is because I like teaching people, I like making content, and I like engineering. So it kind of combines it all in the one role, which is really nice.
That is really cool. In a sense, you have the hard tasks of two worlds. You have the hard task of being an engineer, knowing a product, like how to use the technical thing, understanding the SDKs, and then you also have the pedagogical side of not only do you understand it, you also have to be able to explain it in a way that works for all the million different personas and overlapping use cases.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah, it is difficult. I just found the best way to do it is just to keep things as simple as possible, and almost hold people's hands a little bit too much, just because if one person doesn't need all that information, they'll just read through it. But that person that does need all the information, they'll actually appreciate that. So give us more information than probably needed, and keep things as simple as possible. So
cool. Sabin, hello. Welcome.
Hey, Sabin, what's up, man?
Sabin, sorry.
Sabin. Yeah, call him whatever you want.
First time chat. Welcome to the stream.
That's cool. Sabin used to be a developer advocate for Prisma, actually. He was here when I started. He's off doing, can't remember what he left to go do. He's engineering now. He's doing something big somewhere, writing some code.
Good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that Saban might not need the full introduction to what Prisma is, but unfortunately, some of the other folks in the chat might. So I'm gonna put you to the test now, Mark, as a
Okay.
dev advocate.
Let's do
What
it.
is Prisma?
Okay, well, all right. Well, Prisma is a company that creates products that help you that help you create things, create applications and programs, and kind of what our goal is to remove the difficulties of working with database technologies, and we call it the data layer, right? So we have a few main products, but our biggest one is the ORM, which is a biggest TypeScript or biggest ORM in the Node.js ecosystem, and it's kind of what we're known for. It's open source, and the whole goal of it is to provide a very good developer experience for people that maybe they're front end devs or they're very new to full stack or new to back end, and they know they need to be able to interact with the database, and they want something that kind of fits into their current understanding of the language that they're working with, which is TypeScript. And the Prisma ORM does a really good job at helping those people, alongside giving people with a lot more experience the tools to do things fast, and build out their technology in an efficient and safe way that allows all big team to be able to work on it at the same time. We also just released this thing called TypeSQL, which is inside of the Prisma ORM that allows people to write raw SQL with type safety, which has been huge, and we've seen a really great response from the community on that one. So, and that really enables that that senior engineer that has been writing SQL for a long time, and they don't necessarily want to pick up an ORM because it might slow them down. Well, now they can utilize the ORM for all of its strengths, along with writing their own SQL when they need to, which just allows a lot bigger of a team to work on the same project together. So that's the ORM, and then we have our paid products, which is Prisma Pulse, which is what we'll be going over today. It's a real-time event-driven. How do I summarize this? Basically, your database gets an event, say a new record's created or deleted or updated, and your app can instantly react to that whenever the database changes. So you don't have to build any kind of request response, anything like that. It just automatically works, and we'll go over that today. Accelerate is a connection puller and caching layer, so it allows you to have a lot more allows you to handle a lot more a lot more load on your applications and your database because of that connection puller. And then we cache the data globally, so that way you're able to get the data to your users as fast as possible. And then we just released Optimize, which is a really cool product that allows you to really see inside of your queries that you're running, see the insights of everything you're running throughout your application, see the latencies, see the query that's ran behind the scenes that Prisma ORM creates. It also provides recommendations that allow you to improve your application. So we'll notice patterns inside of your queries, inside of your applications. We'll say, hey, why don't you update this with this index, or update this with this recommendation that we have, and it improves your application. So it's a really cool product, and there's a lot more to come with it. It's brand new. I definitely suggest going to look that up if you haven't heard of it already. It's free to start off with, and then in my mind, there's no reason to not be using it. Similar to the next product, which is Studio, and that allows you kind of have a visual interaction with your database. It has nice tables, and you can build queries and filtering and sorting, and it basically allows you to visualize your entire database locally on your machine currently. That was a lot of talking. So
no, that was great. Yeah.
Questions, comments, anything about that?
We do have one question from the chat.
Sure.
First of all, Nander, I remember you too. Hello, welcome back. Thank you. From EduCS18. Hi, I'm new here. Welcome. And I want to know, what is the advantage to using an ORM? And what is ORM to begin with?
What is the advantage to use an ORM, and what is ORM? So ORM stands for Object Relational Mapper or Mapping. I can't remember the mapping part. Object Relational Mapping. Yes, mapping. I always forget if it's mapper or mapping. Essentially, the benefits of using this is it allows you to define your database. Well, there's a few benefits. One of the main things is it allows you to define your database with code. So rather than having to use an entire external system to manage and create tables and update tables and create relations and everything that involves using a database, you can do that within your current code base. And we do that via our schema file, which is something kind of different than a lot of other ORMs. We have a very nice syntax with a schema file that you're able to define tables and rows and all fields and all types of things in. So that's kind of one part of it. And then the other reason you might want to use an ORM is because it's similar to the last one where you're already inside of the code, but it fits very nicely into your code base. The Prisma client is completely type safe. So you're able to basically write out all of your code and have the type safety inside of what you're already used to working with. And allows you to create your applications faster and safer. And if you've never worked with a database before, it's a good place to start, in my opinion. That we've gotten a lot of feedback in the past that Prisma makes things very easy for people that don't know anything about databases and they want to start to learn. We make it very easy to get up and running and start using, just having a database in your application. I don't know if that answered your question. If you have any more specifics, go ahead and ask. I'd be happy to help. Yeah.
Swell. Yeah. If anyone, any question, I'll repeat to the chat. If anyone has any questions or things they want to ask about, please do, especially and including the things we're talking about, but anything else, in the world of tech that's safe for work. I'll also note that if we do answer one of your questions and you have follow-ups or clarifications, that's great too. Let us know. This is going to be recorded. Well, this is currently going live on Twitch, and I'll re-upload to YouTube later. So, this will be a resource. Ooh, we're going to be working with Postgres today. So yay, that's relevant to you, EduCS18, who notes I work with Postgres and write a lot of scripts. Awesome. Since we're at a good pause point, I'm going to also just quickly mention that the impetus for this stream is that we are building a real-time Q&A chat app with Prisma Pulse, the thing Mark just described, for SquiggleConf, which is a conference that I am co-organizing, and Prisma is, like a bunch of awesome people, thank you so much, are sponsoring. So I'm going to quickly post that in the chat. SquiggleConf.com. It's happening in, dear God, 9 days from time of recording. To anyone who's organized a conference before, you know that is a lot of stress, and I'm currently freaking out internally, as you can tell from my calm exterior. So let us know if you're interested in SquiggleConf. That's a whole thing that I think is going to be great. October 3rd, New England Aquarium in Boston. We're talking about web dev tooling and stuff all around it, including things like Prisma. Mark, I'm curious, separate from Prisma, is there one web dev tool or thing, utility that you use that makes you happy in particular? Comes to mind?
My goodness. One tool that makes me happy.
I'm putting you on the spot. I apologize.
What do you mean tool? Is just like something I interact with all the time, or like a very specific thing, or like what are you thinking?
I'll give you an example. Yeah.
Okay.
One tool that I know a lot of people love and have no irritation towards is linting, ESLint. I'm a big fan, and I'm sure many of our listeners love ESLint and have no negative feelings on the matter of things that give them squigglies in the editor. Oh, Melatonin says TypeScript. I agree with that one too.
Yeah, TypeScript. Yeah, I TypeScript. I remember when it first came out, I was like, oh man, I don't want to go back to typing. I used to write C++. Like I'm like we used to do this all the time, and now we're in JavaScript. We don't need this, and let me tell you, it's worth it. So yeah, no, I made the jump many years ago. That makes me sound very old. But yeah, it's worth it. I think my favorite thing is PNPM at the moment. I think it just makes package management so much nicer, and everything's so much faster. I like the simplicity of creating mono repos with it as well. I find that while you can do that with Yarn and npm, I don't know, I just find it easier with PNPM and knowing that the way it optimizes things is a lot better. So yeah, I would say PNPM for now, right at this very moment. That's the thing I can think of.
Mark, I freaking love PNPM. I use it in all of my projects now. Can I share? I believe you're in control here. Can I share screen and show people? This is not planned at all. I just want to brag about how good PNPM is.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so cool. So what we have here is hide the Google notice. I've got I've got two things open. One is real-time Q&A with Prisma Pulse live stream, which is not public. It's just a new folder I made in my computer. That's what I'm going to be touching in this stream. But I also have in code real-time QA Prisma Pulse, which is roughly the final output. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat. It's a repo on GitHub. If anyone wants to take a look at the code that we're writing, it's in that repo. Just right here, I put it in the chat. I'm the only person who started it, which seems sad. Nothing good or bad will happen if people do or don't start it, but you know.
I'll start it for you. I'll start. There you go.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, so I'm in the existing one, and it's the way it's set up. This is actually like a really good transition to talking about the tech. Is we have a client and a server. Client on the left and server on the right in my terminals. And for each of them, I'm going to run pnpmi. So it's going to install packages. Oh boy, why is next 14 20 megabytes? What the hell is that? Oh, because it has a bunch of compiler stuff in it. Anyway, so first of all, I love the pnpm installation window. I know this is really random, but it's beautiful.
It does. If you've gone your entire life using npm or yarn and then you see this, you're like, oh, that's what niceness is supposed to be. Niceness, but that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, cool. So okay, on the right, my server installed. Oh, and on my left too. So if you're running with like npm or classic yarn does have a version that's like pnpm. It copy and paste or downloads tars into your node modules. pnpm, it's all symlinked to a local, like a global to your computer store. So if you run pnpm install again, boom, half a second. Oh, offline capable caching by default.
So good.
Amazing. Cool. But yeah, actually, while we're here, I'm gonna pnpm dev. Oh no, what did I do? Oh no, I got a type error. What did I do wrong? Oh, you know what it is? These were originally installed with a different package manager, so I can't verify that these will actually work with pnpm. I'm so sorry, Mark. We have to.
That's okay. That's okay. Normally npm is I normally use that in tutorials as well, just because it's more known, right? So I try not to confuse people with pnpm or whatever. It's funny. You think like something so simple wouldn't turn people off of watching a tutorial or something, but if it's not, very common, they just I don't know what that is and they turn it off, right? So
yeah. I get it, honestly. Like, it's unfortunate, but when I'm doing something new, I don't want to have to learn two or more things at once.
Yep,
I want to learn one new. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, cool. We got the server on the right running. We got the client on the left. And I'm going to open localhost 3000, and we're just going to show them side by side. On the left, by real-time Q&A app. This is the very ugliest trimmed down version of what we're going to actually let people ask questions of speakers at SquiggleConf with. So these questions suck, so I'm going to delete them all. Hit this skull. I think I haven't successfully implemented the real-time delete update, but we can see on the right that the server is receiving these deletions. And I'm going to ask you a question, Mark. What's your favorite Prisma feature? Send that, and we see that Prisma was, I need to update my TypeScript server. Prisma sees that I'm getting real-time votes. I'm going to have to fix this to be real-time. So, Mark, what is your favorite Prisma feature?
I can't. My current favorite thing is TypeSQL. What we just put out with a Prisma ORM allows you to write raw SQL queries that are type safe. Words are hard apparently, but yeah, TypeSQL is awesome, and we've seen a lot of people in the community really like it. So right now, it's my favorite for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. I would like to note the server on the right there updating. That's not happening via, like, we're not doing any calls. We're not asking the database for this. We have a connection open via the Prisma client API, and it's just automatically adding that stuff to the terminal. As soon as that record's inserted into the database or updated or deleted, it's instantly showing inside of that terminal, which is really cool. And I think we're going to get into showing how that works, right? But I just wanted to note that, because people see that and they might not realize what's happening. So
Yeah, let's definitely go over it. I actually, to do this, I forked an example that Prisma has. It's linked in the depot docs that I linked. This server file has 3 features. I added 2 more on top of the sample apps, and it's under 100 lines of code. And it uses Socket.io to connect real time from the server to the client. So yeah, let's build this. Let's go from scratch. So I got my app here. I got Prisma Pulse live stream. I'm gonna make dir server cd server. Let's say I just wanted from scratch with PNPM because I have that freedom now. I wanted to set up this server where it can connect to a Prisma database, and then next we'll add some kind of Socket.io connection that a client can read from. What would I do first, Mark?
I don't know. I don't know where you want to start. Where do you want to start here? Because I could. There's 3 different starting points in my mind. So where do you want to start?
Let's say I want to be able to connect to the Prisma database. Like I want to make a new Prisma client. I want to add in Pulse there. And let's say I want to be able to actually, you know what? Even before we use Pulse, I want to be able to do this thing where I set up a get endpoint where someone can ask me for all the messages that currently exist.
Okay. So we should probably start up. We should probably set up our package JSON file with all the packages that we need. We can either do that via PNPMI, or you can just create and you can just init the package.json and start putting things in that way. I don't know which way you like doing it, but we're gonna need all that stuff inside of this, right?
Yeah, I like PNPMI. I like having it do it for me. So what are the packages I'm going to need?
I don't know them off the top of my head. Hold on, let me pull this up.
I can,
so that way I actually have real answers for you. So yeah, we'll need Prisma, we'll need the extension, but we'll need Socket.io, we'll need Express, we'll need cores.
I also see we have the types for 3 of those. For those who haven't played in the type ecosystem much, these are not needed for production. It's just giving nicer IntelliSense and type safety around these 3 packages. I see Prisma has types built in, it seems.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. You don't need to do this, basically. Yeah.
Sweet. So I'm just oh wait, hang on. I started installing all of them, but I meant to install some as production depths, some as dev depths. I could probably just copy and paste this package. I'm gonna do that. Boop.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Okay.
1.4 seconds for a package. Okay. Sweet. So I see from here that we've got source index TS, which is getting run by TS node. Source touch source index TS. Code source index TS. Okay. So what would I do next?
All right. So what are we're trying to just create the route right now, or the endpoint right now? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So we need to import in this. We need to import in Socket.io. We need to import in Express, HTTP, and cores.
Cool. So Socket.io is the real-time library. This is the one that lets the client and the server send messages over WebSocket back and forth.
Yes.
Express is the HTTP server, like a really popular one for Node. It's a classic. Express has been around for ages.
Very long time.
Yeah. What are HTTP and cores doing here?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I know cores is something that helps with cross-site, like cross-site scripting, as far as I'm aware. But I think this has to do with this request coming from the front end to the back end. I'm not 100% certain. I didn't build this this example project here, so you're stretching my knowledge a little bit. But
sure, no worries. I will be a good developer and just copy and paste. That's all I do.
Well, yeah. I mean, we have so many example projects. It's hard to remember exactly what each, how we made each one. So
yeah. Actually, by the way, on that note, Prisma supports a buttload of things. Like it is absolutely incredible. And I cannot fathom the mental difficulty of trying to keep track of all the different platforms and database providers and servers and serverless frameworks and whatever that y'all support. Too much.
Yeah. We try very hard. I mean, we're the #1 TypeScript ORM, so we gotta support everything. So
life is hard. See, this is why I don't like working on products. I don't want to support. I don't want people relying on me. Anyway, on that cheerful note, so I'm seeing from here that we setting up a new Express server or app.use cores, and then just continuing here, app.get. So now I'm setting up a get endpoint of messages where I've always hated this part of the API that you have to use two parameters, and then the first one just half the time is unused. Also, I believe that these are unnecessary type annotations. My linter background getting here. So I'm just going to quickly for now stub out res.json message hello world. So also I've always hated abbreviations. Pardon me. So this isn't even Prisma or TypeScript specific. This is just I have a get server with /message. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. I actually don't think I have Postman installed on this computer. Isn't there like a what's a good tool? Is there one built in Chrome for just sending a network request? I just want to test that it works.
Well, if the server's running, you can just add /message to the like after the port. You can just add /message to it, and it should hit because it's a GET request. It should work, I think.
Oh, that's right. So my server's not running yet, and I'll have to fix that. But yeah, you're right. Localhost 3000 /messages. Cool. Can't use import statement outside of our module. Now, Mark, how big of a fan are you of working around ESM and TypeScript interop difficulties in the Node.js ecosystem? Is that one of the things you like doing?
I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say it is, but you know, it is what it is. It comes with the territory, right? So.
Yeah. Also, I apologize. I slept on the chat. From Sabin, HB allows you to set up HB servers and configure them. Cores just allows you to enable cores, cross cores, and mutual sharing for requests. Fetch works. Oh, there's a VS Code Postman extension. And Sabin recommends Thunder clients. Cool.
Yeah, I haven't heard of Thunder client. Insomnia is what I've been using myself, but Thunder client. It doesn't surprise me that Sabin knows the newest thing. He's always on top of that kind of stuff.
Thanks, Sabin. Sweet. Lightweight REST HTTP client. Cool. As someone who has been an Insomniac his whole life, I previously used Insomnia, chuckled at the name, and now I'm going to try Thunder client. But awesome. Okay. Anyway, can't use import statement outside of a module. I think I need to change type module. This is not the point of the stream. I would not like to go deep into this. Why is it doing this to me? File extension TS. This is silly. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna switch this to JS, and then I'm gonna change the scripts to just Node. So I'm not gonna have TypeScript syntax in here. Life is hard. Why am I? Oh, great question from Nandor. Why am I naming request _? Because it's an unused variable. There are two parameters here, and I have to skip past the first one because I'm not actually using it. But I do want the second one. Moving all the types. There we go. Okay, Nord source. Oh my god. And now I hate this. I hate how it worked when I was doing it just locally. And now I don't know what I'm missing. Is there like an app.start, app.get? Why is this crashing? Blame ESLint. Thanks. I will be sure to do that. Does anyone here know how to use Express.js? Mark, do you see what I'm doing wrong here? Did I start listening? I'm so sorry to cut you off, Nander.
No, you're fine. I'm just trying to keep up. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
You got it though.
Nice. So I'm listening on. I'm gonna say 3000. Strange. Ooh. That's not there yet. npm run dev. Listening on 3000. There we go. Cannot get slash, but if we go to messages, message singular. Yay! It works. We did it. Questions from the chat. Why is setting up TypeScript that annoying? Do I personally use boilerplates as starters? I feel like they're really poor designed error messages. It's easy to resolve them with the starter. Yeah, I personally actually have my own starter. I feel like a lot of people do. I use Create TypeScript app that I made. It has all sorts of ridiculously comprehensive stuff like linting and spell checking and formatting built in. Just for streams, though, it tends to be a lot more sloppy because it's quicker. Mark, I'm curious, if you were to set up a TypeScript project today, is there any particular template or starter you use?
Back when I was doing Next.js, yeah, like when that was like my main thing. But nowadays, no, not really. I just do pm init and then just go from there, man, and just set it up. I think the problem we were having is there was no config or anything. I'm not 100% certain on why it just wasn't, the TS files were not working, but mainly I'm assuming there was no config or something like that was causing an issue. But we turn it on in JavaScript, so it doesn't matter now.
Yeah. Makes sense. Cool. Sabin, I might need your help here to get my localhost pinged by Thunder clients. Oh, there we go. I switched from HTTPS to HTTP. So, Maddie, there is a lightweight version of Create TypeScript app. Responding to the chat, it is well, it has like a minimal preset. You can choose from different presets to have different levels of how much tooling is added. Okay, cool. So, Mark, we have a server. I think now we're ready to start adding in Prisma. Let's say that I wanted to just set up a Prisma client and be able to talk to a database. What would I do next?
Yeah, so we're going to have to import the client. So it'll be, yep. And then we're going to have to define the client. So you see where on the right side there it says const Prisma equals new Prisma client. You would just need that part if we're not going to be extending it. The extends keyword there allows you to enable different extensions on top of your client. So technically, Pulse, Accelerate, Optimize, all of our products are built with with extensions, which is also something we allow you to do as a user. So you can create your own extensions and use that .extends to extend the client and have different functionality and things available to you that the client doesn't normally have available to you. So right now we just need the new Prisma client there. Yep.
Awesome.
And then we're going to have to set up some environment variables and make sure we have our schema table or schema file and everything like that. So we can probably do npx Prisma. I can't remember what part we are on because we installed everything, right? So it's probably npx Prisma generate is what we need to do now. And it will generate all of the folders and files that we need. I'm pretty sure.
Sweet.
Nope.
Cannot find Prisma schema. Now that's an error message that's actually clear on what's happening. Checked following paths. So I need a Prisma schema?
Yeah, did you install Prisma? Just do npx Prisma install. Am I saying things wrong? Oh, we didn't init it. Okay, that's why. So it's Prisma init. Yep. Sorry. This initializes everything and installs it. Cool. We're doing things in a kind of a roundabout way. I was confused on what step we were on, so that's why I was trying to see all the different commands we had available. So yep. And so now we have this schema.prisma file. And inside of this, we would want to set up our tables and things like that. But I suggest maybe just copying over the tables you already have from the other schema file in the other project. Yeah.
Also, this is sorry to tangent us. Is there like an extension I should install to get syntax highlighting in this file?
Yeah, there's a Prisma VS Code extension actually. So if you, yep, there you go.
You're about to hit 2 million downloads.
Yep, and then it should also format on save, which is wonderful. Yep, there you go. And another thing we recently implemented into Prisma ORM is allowing you to split up your schema. So say you have multiple tables in here, you can create multiple schema files and like have like a message and a user or whatever, and have those into individual files, which a lot of people really like. So this schema file used to get really big, and now you don't have to do that anymore. So
sweet.
Yeah. Okay. So now what we're going to need to do is make sure that the database URL is set inside of our environment file. So you would have to create an environment file.
Cool. Now, I actually want to shout out Nander in the chat said 3 minutes ago, time to install .env, and that was a very prophetic message. I believe I have a server env file here. Oops. I'm gonna note that one should never show environment secrets on a stream. It's really dangerous to do that. You should never do that. It's dangerous because someone, might hijack your database. They might force it to do all sorts of things, run up your bills. Even if you're on a free tier, they might exhaust the free tier or use it for various purposes. This database, I believe, expires 48 hours from midday yesterday, so in under 24 hours. And I'm not going to show the full key. So, yeah, there's that. But I'm just going to very quickly, just to be safe, go away from it. Cool. And save. Whoop. Goodbye. Question in the chat from Smotty. Do you plan on having a UI where you can select deselect options to links? Oh, about create TypeScript app? Yes, I can talk about that separately from this. I have a lot of plans for that. Sonicastra, cool name, Sanicofast. I always name table at map parentheses messages or users, not singular. Oh, Mark, this might be a comment section for you. Should we name our tables in a singular or plural format?
I think this depends on. I don't want to say it depends on how you feel about it. In my mind, what is the singular thing that a table is holding, and that is what the table should be called. Because if there's only one thing in that table, therefore it is only a message, right? And if you're holding multiple messages in it, sure, it could be called messages, but you're really only interested in the singular item. Or if you get a group of those items, then yes, it becomes messages. But that's a really weird way of saying it should, in my opinion, it should be singular. But I don't think it matters, man. whatever you want to do. At the end of the day, you're the one building the thing, right? So
is this one of those debates that every area of coding has that's never going to get resolved?
I don't know. I mean, to Saban's point, it does matter, and I don't know if he might be joking right now, but there are specific instances where like you can't name things a certain way for a particular type of database. But this is one of those things that like it's like tabs versus spaces, kind of in a way, right? It's one of those things. There are specific instances in like Postgres where you can't name, like I think it's like the user, you can't name it user. No, you can't name it users. I can't remember exactly what it is in Postgres off the top of my head. There's a specific like table that you're not allowed to create inside of Postgres, right? That would be different if you just made it plural. But other than that, I think it's really up to you.
Okay. That's an interesting restriction there.
Yeah. Yeah, it just came up the other day because it was brought up in our documentation that we were writing that wrong on. That's why I remember it. I'm like, oh yeah, we should fix that. So
cool. Fun. All right. So we have a schema.prisma file, which I'm now realizing we never explicitly stated. So now that I have this file, Mark, why do I have this file and what am I supposed to do with it?
Yeah, so this file is where you define the entire structure of your database. Basically, you can also add in different features that we have available to you in the ORM inside of this. We call them preview features, or you add different extensions, things like that. But mainly, this file is used to create your database, all your tables, your relationships, your fields, define their types, things like that, and allows you to basically do this all with code without having to use a visual editor or write this all in SQL or however. I mean, back in the day, we used to like PHP my admin, like things like that, way back in the day. But yeah, this allows you to just do it all within the file, which is really nice. And any change you make to this, if you run migrate, so we have a migration system that's in place. So basically every change that you make to this, once you run the migrate command, it kind of saves that version of the schema file. That's a kind of a hacky way of saying that, but it kind of saves this, right? And so you're able to roll back to different versions of the schema file, which is technically rolling back to different versions of your database and things like that, which is really nice.
Cool. I love asking people who deeply understand and know an area the very basic questions, because they'll give a very good explanation, and then they'll remember like, oh, there's this like new thing we just added, or like this interesting nuance. And it's actually really hard to give introductory explanation of a feature. So thank you for that.
Thanks.
Cool. So what are we gonna, now that we have this description of our database, our database and services around it, what are we gonna do with it?
So right now the next step would be to generate the client based on this schema. So you would want to run npx prisma generate, and that should work if we're connected properly. We are connecting to a database that already exists and already has migrations in it. Okay, it does work. Okay, there's like,
Woo!
it depends. I can't remember what part of this are jank because of the kind of copy pasting we're doing. Okay, so now basically what we want to do is migrate our database. I guess technically you could have migrated first, but you would want to do, since we've already created this database, right, in a different project. So you'd want to just do Prisma, npx Prisma migrate without a particular flag on it, as far as I'm aware. Dev, sorry, Prisma migrate dev. I forgot the dev part.
Cool. So
And this
will, please.
Yeah, and this basically just makes sure that the database matches what our schema file is and updates and changes things if we need to. Now, I am curious about what this error message says. Hold on. Yeah, migration history. So basically what this is saying is because our database has had migrations from a different application and this application doesn't have those migrations, it doesn't know what to do. The fast way to fix this is to copy the migrations folder out of the other project and put it in this one. That should work.
Oh, I deleted those.
Oh, you deleted it. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think all data will be lost. I think it's fine. So let's just approve that. I mean, this is a demo app anyway, so let's go ahead and just say yes. Yeah. And then you would want to do first init or something, or okay, that works too.
Okay.
Rep demo database. Yeah, sure.
Cool. So this is, by the way, there was a question earlier, like why would you use an ORM? This is a really interesting reason because it's a manager for your database. If you have, let's say, a bunch of databases in an old version or old model or set, and you've got an update, something like Prisma schema migration can store the migration strategy for your database on disk in your Git repo, and then you can automatically apply those as databases get migrated as the repo gets updated. That's really cool.
Yep. And it allows like teams to work together, right? So if I'm making changes to the table, if I'm making changes to the database and you're making changes to the database, and I have a bunch of migrations that you don't have, when we merge our code together, it knows what order to actually update things in, right? Which is very important for large teams.
Yeah.
So now if you were actually running npx Prisma Studio and open up the Studio, which is another one of our products, you should be able to see our models, which is matching our schema file here, which message, and then those are all of our fields. And the database is empty because we just basically exploded it when we did that last command. That's okay.
There were no rows in this table. Cool. Yeah. ID, created at, updated at, text, which is string. So I'm guessing A is like alpha character, question mark optional. Scene, the little toggle to indicate. Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. And actually, we've got the, we'll explain this soon with little sender socket ID because that's a long story. But we'll get to that with the real-time stuff. I also, by the way, this is a little more than what's on the Prisma sample app that I forked from. I added scene, I think it was. That might have existed already.
No, I think you added that, yeah. And then the upvotes, I think you added as well, yeah.
That's right, yeah. By the way, fun fact, I didn't read the docs. I just wrote out upvotes at default 0, just inferring from this stuff, and it worked. Nice job designing that schema.
Cool.
Wonderful. Awesome. So yeah, we've got a database. By the way, we should note, this is freaking sweet. I got this like little database manager thing. I can like add records with this.
Yep. You can add, manipulate, you can run filters, things like that, and all inside of Studio. And this is all running locally, and we're very excited about Studio and the future that it has. We have a lot of cool ideas about what to do with Studio going forward. But it's been one of the bigger things that our community's really loved about the ORM since, the Studio's existed for a very long time, alongside the ORM, but we're really trying to think about what we can do to take it into the future, and we're very excited for what we're doing.
Awesome.
So Hint, hint, wink, wink. Keep your eyes out there. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
SquiggleConf 2025. Awesome. Okay. I got my database. So we know that Prisma, the set of things such as the studio manager, can connect to the database. I would like to be able to serve up, instead of response.json one message, I want to give all the messages that exist in the database. What do I do?
So you would have to basically use the Prisma client to write to grab all of those things. So let me go ahead and actually get you I have to remember exactly where it is in the
Prisma. Ooh.
It would be a kind of a find many. So because we're not putting in any. Yeah, okay, we're not putting in any criteria. Oh, you already have it there. What am I doing? Okay, it's already sitting there. I'm sitting here like trying to find the exact code you would need to write, and it's already sitting right in front of us. Okay. Cool. Yeah, Prisma.message.find many, and this would basically return all the rows inside of that table.
By the way, I apologize for diverting. It's really annoying me that I can't show off the type definition. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to real quick rename this back to TS and then start a background. Oh yeah,
you're playing with fire, man.
I believe in myself. I'm going to just real quick make a TS config, include source, compiler options, strict, make it strict. And then
is anybody else holding your breath right now? I'm holding my breath.
And then I'm going to add a script. I really should be able to get this work. I literally wrote one of the books on TypeScript. Like, one would hope that I would be able to get a very minimal TypeScript thing working.
I believe in you.
One would hope. There's 2 scripts out there. Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah, basically, I just want to be able to. Before I was trying to do like TS node, like running TS file or like compiling it in memory. I just want to just watch mode my TypeScript. And of course, there's some issues with ES modules interoperability. So I'm going to add the nice ES module interrupt, shut up about that flag. And okay, that's my little TS server running in the background. Actually, I did a silly. I ran npm run tsc. If I just did npm run tsc, I don't need the dash. Great. And then npm run dev. But what? Why can't it? Oh, CD packet or server. Okay, npm run dev. No, it was going so well. Oh, I need to set my module to ES next, I think, and my target to ES next. I think that's what I want to do. Okay. Thank heavens. Okay, so previously it was emitting like old code, like targets ES3 or whatever the default is, 5, and it was doing common JS, but I want to have target of new JavaScript and the module system of whatever ECMAScript defines JavaScript. So cool. All right, now it's working. Sorry. The reason why I did this whole hullabaloo, why are you yelling at me? Module resolution node next, is because I wanted to show off that Prisma.mess. God damn it. Module resolution is. What the hell? Oh, node next. Oh my God. Oh my God. Module node. Whatever, the node system, not ECMAScript. Anyway, I wanted to show off that if we look at the type of messages, then we get this really nice Prisma promise for, I forgot to await it. We get a Prisma promise for the strongly typed data.
Yep.
Okay, so this is really cool. This is the magic that Prisma and ORM do for us, where I never explicitly wrote my types. I wasn't even looking at the chat the whole time to see you people shouting me on. Thank you. I appreciate the help, Smotty. Sorry, Mark. Nice product. Good stuff.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I mean, the first time you see that, it adds a lot of like, you're like, damn, that's really nice. Right? Like, I remember the first time I did that as well. I was like, okay, yeah, this is great. It enables you to write code so much faster. You don't have to worry about defining those types somewhere else or doing any type of like inference or anything. Prisma ORM just handles it all for you, which is really nice.
Awesome. Yeah. And sorry, before one more thing, I think two more things before we continue. One, Master Bait, want to be very clear that that's that name and not anything similar. Asks on YouTube, can we get like a one sentence? What is Prisma Pulse?
Yeah, you can use Prisma Pulse to create applications that react to database changes. Yes.
Sweet.
I don't know if that's the best one sentence elevator pitch, but I've said that like 4 different times, 4 different ways, but I think that's a good one. Let me know, Master. What do you think? That might be a challenge me again to one line it for you.
Well, I'll ask you again at the hour and a half mark. It's been exactly the 1 hour and 26 seconds mark.
All right, sounds
Cool.
good.
Awesome. And Sonic Castor, no more interfaces. Shocked emoji. Yeah. We don't have to type out types or interfaces or whatever. Just Prisma, well, at least for our database data, Prisma just sets that for us. Then the optionals become or null. It's really nice. Okay. So now if I go to my Thunder client, can I put this side by side? Sweet. And do slash messages.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Saber knows what he's talking about. Thunder client. Okay, cool.
Oh, I get none. Why do I get none?
Well, I don't think there's anything in the database. Remember we deleted everything?
Oh my God. You're absolutely right. Thank you. And what was it? NPX Prisma
Studio. Yep.
Cool.
Now you can there is one. Wait.
Interesting. I'll add another one just in case. Flat. Same one, change. What?
Interesting. Oh wait, Prisma minute console.log. Yeah. Smart. Okay.
Oh. I never restarted my server.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There we go. Great. Yeah, look at this. This is fantastic. Collapse the console. So now, just real quick, we set up Prisma to be able to react to the server. As in, when the server asks Prisma, it'll send back the messages. Awesome.
Yep. Yeah. So this is just hitting the express route / messages and doing a find menu. Very, very common. You can do this in basically any type of server side call. So.
Cool. Awesome. So now we've got the server and we have the ability to once get something from the server. I would like the ability to log whenever something changes, i.e. I would like to use Prisma Pulse because it's really cool. What would I do to start setting up Prisma Pulse?
Yeah, so the first thing we're going to do is have to import the with Pulse extension from the Prisma extension Pulse. So
Prisma Pulse.
Okay, there you go.
Extension Pulse.
Yep, with Pulse extension Pulse. Cool. And like I said before, so that basically allows us to extend the client with Pulse, right? And we'll have to input in our API key here. But yeah, so this gives the client new abilities and basically access to the Pulse API, right? And you guys can do the same exact thing and build your own client extensions, which is really cool. If you're ever really wanting to dive into that kind of stuff, it's really neat. Okay, so next thing we would need to do is make sure we have our API key, which we already do from our database that we set up yesterday. So you just have to add the API key and then do the process.env, all that jazz. Yep, there you go.
Yes. Quickly before all the hackers watching this steal all my data.
And this Pulse API key comes from the Prisma data platform. So if you go to console.prisma.io, you log in. If you've never logged in before, you'll get hit with our onboarding experience. Let me know what you think online on Twitter and stuff as we're doing a lot of work right now trying to improve our onboarding experience. And then you would create a project, connect Pulse, input it in your database string, and it will give you a Prisma API key.
Sweet. And then we have the Pulse key here. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is, before we even try to get this to the front end or anything, we basically just need to create the async function that is running, and basically we keep this function alive to be able to listen to the database. So I think it's called like async. I think what we have in here is async function chat message or something like that, but you can call it anything you want as long as it's an async function.
Cool. I'm going to go ahead and start copy and pasting. Stream chat messages.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So if you want to, yeah, that works. Yeah, get rid of that for now. And then the first thing we would need to do is set up a stream. So let's do const stream equals await prisma.message.stream. And the dot stream is something that is unique to Pulse. Essentially what this means is, so we have two ways to use Pulse. We have dot subscribe and dot stream. Dot subscribe, basically it doesn't allow for you to have guaranteed deliveries, which means basically if your server goes down when this is running, when your server comes back on, it doesn't know where it left off and it won't continue to stream those messages, right? Or just stream any type of messages that have come in or events that have happened on your database. That's good for certain instances, right? Whenever you need that. So that's why we have dot subscribe. But dot stream enables you to kind of, no matter when you connect to this, no matter where you connect to it from, you'll have wherever you left off and be able to pick right back up. So this allows you to be able to do this in things like serverless, right? Where the servers are always going up and down and you're able to reconnect to things and pick right back up. So say I send a bunch of messages, but your server goes down. When your server comes up, all those messages will come in. I think I just said the same thing like 4 different times, but I think I got it. So one thing we don't have here is the name of the stream, which I think we should add. I'm not sure why that's not there. Let me go ahead and just run into our docs real quick. Just make sure I can get the exact
cool
thing for you.
Actually, sorry, Mark, before we
Sure.
continue with this, could I test my own understanding by attempting to answer a question from the chat about the difference between Prisma Pulse and Prisma.$use middleware?
Oh, yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Cool. So Prisma Pulse is an extension on Prisma. So it's client code, and it's also, on top of that, it's also a way of making sure the database, or it's like the database needs to be set up in a certain way to be able to work with Pulse, where Pulse wraps more than just middleware in your own like local server running Prisma. It also has features like making sure that if the database server goes down and then goes back up, then you get like chat messages or streaming messages, pardon me, that were sent in the meantime. So it's like a nice, really swell and well-typed wrapper around middleware and real-time listening. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yes, in a way. I think the main difference is that I'm not 100% certain what you mean by this, but the main difference with Pulse is that you as the user aren't doing anything to get these events from the database, right? You don't have to set anything up yourself. It just, whenever the database is whenever something happens on the database, we basically are sending a Pulse signal out and your application is listening to it. Which I guess you could do with other things. Like this is basically built on top of change data capture. So you can set this all up yourself, right? But Pulse kind of just like does it for you. I might be misunderstanding the use middleware thing here, but I hope that helps. I don't know.
Cool. Let us know if not.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, for sure. And I'll do a little bit better rummaging through our docs to make sure I have a better answer for you. It's very difficult. The one thing and the one challenge I always find is like, I know there's answers to these things. Do I remember them? If I don't, do I know where to find them in our docs? And most of the time I do, because I know it exists. There's so much information that you have to remember. So one thing that we don't have here is the name key. I don't think I posted that link properly. I'm going to post it inside of the private chat, and maybe you can post it for us. Sure. It didn't let me for some reason. But basically, inside of our docs, we have why you would need to use name. So if a name is provided, Pulse tracks the delivery of events with a cursor. Only if the event is acknowledged on the receiver side, the cursor associated with that name will move. So basically what this says is with the name here, we're basically making sure that the client or the person listening to this Pulse, listening to the stream, is actually receiving those events. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter. They will just send it no matter what. But this way, it doesn't continue to send things until you actually get it, which is the way we suggest to use stream most of the time. But like I said, this works without the name thing there. This also allows you to say you have 2 different instances inside this application where you're running this, and you want to access the same stream of data. As long as you're referencing the same name, it will be able to grab it, right? So it kind of allows you to define the pulse stream in a way.
Awesome. If I were to write a lint plugin, like an ESLint plugin for using Prisma, would I want to enable a rule that requires name in Prisma.message.stream in the recommended preset?
What I
Like,
want
would
to
every
enable.
company?
Can you re-say that? I don't think I followed.
Sure. So, like, I for context, I Josh work on linting a lot in my open source work, and I'm always thinking of like, what are the best practices for any given thing that we should basically have everyone do. It's not a type error, like it still works without it, but you probably want it. Would having a name there be like something that you should probably do as a Prisma user?
In my mind, you always want to have the name there when you're using .stream, and if you don't want to use it, you would know, and you would know why, right? It just allows you to make sure you're getting those events from the database and your application is able to do something with them. Actually, the person in chat right now, RT Benfield, he's the person that built Pulse. So he'll correct me if I'm wrong here, but yeah, he's the guy that we say he's the guy that knows things at Prisma. He's the one that basically Pulse is kind of his brainchild there. So
Tyler, are we going to be meeting next week? Are you the
yes, he's the one that's going to be at SquiggleConf. So if things go wrong, he's going to be the one that breaks everything. Or not breaks everything, fixes everything. He might be the one that breaks everything as well, but then he'll fix it. He's good at fixing things.
That's a good characteristic to have, good at fixing things. Every dev is good at breaking things. Not every dev is good at fixing them. Cool. There is some lively stuff happening in the chat on Twitch. Very exciting.
Oh, so Tyler, you disagree with me that we need a name field on all .streams. I feel like you've told me the opposite in many meetings, so maybe I'm misremembering, but
I'm just reading the chat message out loud. The no name field creates an ephemeral stream that's useful in some cases. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Is my stream ephemeral? What is? I feel like we're getting bogged down, and I really want to get through the app. So I'm going to say let's continue. So we've set up a stream where I'm just going to infer from the properties that we're saying we want create, delete, and update events. Basically 3 of 4 for CRUD.
And if you hover over those create, delete, and update, it should give you a little bit more. Well, maybe not. Yeah. So wait, this seems weird. Basically, it should give you more information on what you can actually grab. But maybe I'm wrong on that. Yeah.
So it's giving me autocompletes for all the properties that exist there. So I could say I only want the text creations.
So basically, yes. To summarize that, yeah. But then there's different in the update, for example, you can say that you want only when this field is updated, right? So yeah. But anyways, let's continue.
Awesome.
So now basically what we want to do is just send out a message of let's just do a console log for the for stream. And it should.
Oh yeah. So
there's gonna be okay. Sorry, continue.
No, sorry, please. I interrupted you.
No. I was just gonna say there's probably gonna be an event object that's sent back. So I don't know if this console log stream is gonna work, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. People ask a bit back in the chat and Twitch if we can use like NodeMon or something to V1 server on file changes. Node has a thing for this. Node -- watch lib index.js. Boop. And I'm compiling the source index.js. Okay, cool. So if I hit save, maybe it doesn't work with streams. Damn it.
So now, never mind. You're doing something else. Sorry, I was reading chat.
Oh, cool. I just started up the server. I actually never hooked up stream chat messages anywhere. So is there something I should await on this?
Yes.
No, it did restart. There we go. This is my stream, and it's a readable stream. Cool. Why is there a feature called BYOB in Node? That seems It's weird.
I don't know, man. So now this should work. If you go back to the studio and create a record or update a record, we should see an event come in inside of that. Inside of that terminal there.
Cool.
As basically it should be faster than the studio actually when you update it. We'll see.
Ooh.
A little challenge there.
Speed.
If not, Tyler needs to go fix it.
Hi, Tyler. I hope you're watching. This is your job security, your happiness at work, your joy of co-working is on the. Ooh.
Oh,
wait, we never actually listened to the stream events.
Okay.
It's just there.
Okay. All right. I was like, wait a second.
Okay. I vaguely remember. Oh, for a wait. There we go. By the way, this is one of those syntaxes that's in TypeScript and JavaScript. It's a JavaScript syntax that like almost never gets used, but it's so nice when you have an actual reason to use it. Yes, I am calling the function now, Smiley. For await const event of stream, this produces an iterable, an async iterable, or I always forget what the terms are, which basically this is saying is every time there's an event, do this in order. Beautiful.
Beats the hell out of the for I equals 0 plus like all that, right?
Yeah. Speed. Yay. All right, so I got my terminal on the left.
Did you restart it since you made the change?
Let's see. This is my
stream. There we go. Okay.
And I'm gonna save.
That's what you're watching. I forgot.
Also, why is the text null?
So this is a bug with Studio. Yeah, you have to click out of the box before you save it, or it doesn't add it into the thing. Which we know. We're gonna fix it. Yeah.
I trust.
Yeah.
Add record. It's added.
I'm not sure why this isn't working right now. Hold on, let me think. Stream. You're just logging the event, yeah?
Yeah. Got an event. Got the 3 exclamation marks. For await const event of stream. Await prisma.message.stream. Am I gonna?
Are we calling it in the server listens? I see the stream await stream chat message, and we're calling and server listens running, or else we wouldn't see that. So,
Let me also just make sure we're looking at the right server.
Yep, that's what I was about to say too.
Nice, we're in sync.
Yep. It's pair debugging or whatever it is.
Okay. Null text, who dat? Oh, hang on. Oh, do I need to hit save in the studio? Save 2 changes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, and there we go. We did it. It was user error. That's good. Just woof. That was I was panicking a little bit. All right, cool.
Oh man. That was scary. I was worried. Also, shout out to Captain Kirk, one of my fellow TypeScript PSLint team members in the chat. Soon we will be able to await. Oh, it's probably lint that people don't misuse for await. This is not what we discussed about me promoting in the stream, but I'm really excited about this. The issue number 10,008 from Captain Kirk, or pull 10,008 in TypeScript PSLint. Anyway,
Smarty, I don't know if that one was a bug. That was just we didn't click a button, which I guess is a bug. If the button's not big, maybe what I'm hearing is we need to make the button really big, and then it wouldn't be a bug. Yeah. Okay.
Put a like the point emoji, like at the
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, just make it real big. Got it. I'll make sure I get that one to the engineers for sure.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and testing. I'm gonna clear the console because we wanted to see how fast it goes.
Yes, that was the
add record. Oh wait, now we have 2. Save.
I don't think you're listening anymore, are you?
Oh, I cleared the terminal. Let's
Yeah.
start it again.
We'll get this one time, man. 4th time's the charge, 5th time's the charge. All right. So
Outside the
click
box,
out.
click
Yeah.
save
Let's
change.
save. Okay.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm confused right now. I'm very confused.
Okay. Restarting stream. Oh boy. Starting right. Add record. I'm going to be so happy once we figure this out. It's definitely going to be something silly that I'm doing wrong that you're going to be so annoyed with me on. Save change.
I don't understand. It literally just worked. Am I crazy? I don't.
So we
Wait, we're hitting.
Oh my god. It didn't work. We were looking at the wrong log. I sent a message to /messages and it logged from that. It wasn't logging from the thing we wanted it to log.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it wasn't working. All right, cool. So now we have to go back to debugging. That's fine.
Phew.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it'd be nicer if it worked, but yeah, no. Let's see here. With Paul, let me Pulse API key. So the only thing I could be thinking right now is that we're not connected to the right thing, but I don't know why that would be the case if we're. When was the last time you regenerated the client? Let's do that. Let's close everything out and regenerate the client.
Okay.
When in doubt, regenerate it.
What's the command? Generate?
Yeah, generate. Yep.
Where's the generate? Oh, what's PNPX is the Prisma?
No, we just released a new version of Prisma today, so
I'm in the right folder. Also, congrats on the release, I guess.
Thank you.
Okay, so this like updates my like local built stuff, including the type definitions that were so nice.
My assumption is that we didn't regenerate before we started adding Paul stuff, and it doesn't actually know that it's supposed to be listening.
Cool.
My assumption. I might be wrong. There's a high probability I'm wrong. That's what we do. We Google things, we figure things out, right?
Development.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying again with after generates, hit enter, save change.
No, it's not. Oh. It's not. It's just not getting the event. I'm quite confused because it's saying that it's doing it. Okay, so there's a all about ChatGPT. Yeah, so everyone ChatGPT hallucinates, and then you have your code broken for days. Let me see here. Stream away.
Oh, hang on. What just? Oh, it's the other. Through? Yeah, I think it's the other log. I don't know why some Chrome window refreshed or something, but it just pinged /messages. One of these windows. That one.
Okay.
Oh, no, that one. Anyway. Well, this is fun.
Yeah, can you scroll down? Just gotta read. Hold on, sorry. Stream. Wait, stream. You know what? Let's remove the name and just see if that has something to do with this.
That is the only difference between
this and the only difference. And I'm gonna feel big dumb for suggesting to add it. So
yeah. Oh, what was the term that was used for them? Ephemeral. I always have a hard time pronouncing that word. I don't know why. Oh. Womp womp. Well, I say we should time box this. If the next one or two debugging techniques don't hit it, I can just hop back to the actual working server that I have. That is also the one that's on GitHub. And we should assume that Josh, did something silly and dumb that made this not work.
Can you scroll back down to where it's like where the message is being happened? Yeah, okay. For console gotten event. So we're basically what's happened. Maybe that gotten event isn't working. Can you do the why wouldn't that be working?
Is there like a .on that these have? I don't know what any of these mean.
Maybe maybe it just like it's not no, I don't know. Hold on, I'm trying to think. So I think the 408 is correct. The 408 constant event of stream. Let's do event. Let's just add something to it. Let's do event.action and see if it returns something.
Sorry, events.action.
Yeah, event.action. So like basically we're basically trying to see if it returns an event actually happening. So yeah, like uncomment that, the 408.
Mhm.
And then do dot action at the end of that. Yeah. Yep. And now see if something returns. I'm wondering if it has something to do with it just being event. I doubt this, but it might be something.
Okay. Cream. I'm just gonna action, just so we know it's reloaded. Stream action, add record.
No, Graham, that's a good idea, but yes, 555 is just for localhost. Or
Yay.
I'm sorry, for studio.
Wait, maybe these are pointing at a different database. Because this is I'm gonna make my window small. Whenever this caveat from earlier in the stream, you should never do what I'm about to do. This is pointing at some like other Postgres and Pulse thingy somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, but then the studio is also looking at that.
Yeah, it should be looking at the same thing because you ran NPX Studio in the same. This is I'm thinking like there's a problem right now with the connection.
Every time I touch something from a company, it breaks.
I mean, let's try this. Let's just recreate it. Let's just make a new database. Let's go back to the Prisma console.
Mm-hmm.
Just so we know 100% that's not the problem, right? Well, I'm sorry. No, go to the console.prisma.io and we're going to create a new database.
I think this speaks to Sabin's message in the chat. Are we connected to the right DB? If we make a new DB,
no, let's not do that. Let's do it the way I was showing you yesterday. Add onboarding, remove overview, and add onboarding. Well, you need the Yep. Thank you.
Look at that little insider information right here.
So this is our onboarding experience, and basically what we have for brand new users is we have a temporary database available. So if we do Pulse, try with demo database, and then region, let's do that, enable Pulse, and then this will should give us the stuff we need. And then we're gonna have to rerun migrations, things like that. Copy that, put that in the environment file.
Cool. I already did that stuff. Oh, look, I already have these things. Oh, you're using a type assertion here. I use an or string cross. I think it's fine.
I don't know if it matters. Yeah.
Hey, look, there's a name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Run my application and create a new record in my database. So yeah, what do I do now?
So we're gonna have to run a migration. So npx Prisma migrate dev. It might give us a thing saying, "Hey, we're out of sync," and we're just gonna say, "Okay." No, it doesn't because of that. Our database doesn't have anything. Okay, cool. So now it's up to date. So now let's also regenerate the client. npx Prisma generate. Alrighty.
Ooh.
Versions of Prisma 20 and Prisma client don't match. This might, please make sure they have same version. Okay, so where is that being? Yeah, if you just do 5.20, yeah, there you go. Maybe that was the problem.
From Mike? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so all I know is it wasn't my fault. No, it's
oh, I'm 100% convinced the whole time it's been my fault. Don't worry about that. Oh my gosh. That might
have been the reason why. That's okay.
Oh, shout out this lovely tool, npm check updates, that I love. I have it installed globally, and if you run like npm i/g npm check updates, And then I can just run ncu-u to just update everything in my package JSON to the latest, and then whatever my command to install is, in this case, pmi.
Very cool.
Oh yeah, Graham, this is the second time we've hosted the database. It's great. Oh my gosh.
That's what demo databases are for, right? I think. Okay.
Cool.
So now that
actually, I realize I'm jumping ahead. Sorry.
No. I mean, that's what we need to do. Now that should be working. So let's go ahead and do what you just did. Run the file. Oh wait, we're okay. So wait. So we've been trying to run the I think that's why. So really, the only way this works. You remember when we were? Damn it! You remember when we were getting responses before when we would hit / messages? Really, the only way this works is if we're hitting / messages, because we're not actually running this file. We're just turning on the server, right? And the only way that data would actually respond is if we're hitting / messages, because we don't have the socket set up right now to actually continuously hit that to return to the front end. Unless I'm insane.
Wait.
So basically, what I'm saying is, if you were to turn off, like, get rid of all that Express stuff, and we were just to run stream chat messages within that file, it should work.
I'm under the impression the second parameter to server.listen is a function that gets run once the server is up. So we're essentially kind of doing that. Have I misinterpreted server.listen?
Yeah, but it's on a port. Yeah, okay. Yes. Yeah, okay. Yes, you're right. I'm not 100% certain, but I think you're right. Okay.
It should. You bring up a good point, though. There's actually no reason why we would need to do that.
So right now, no, until we actually get things to the front end.
Rename the root action stuff just to make sure.
Okay.
Cool.
Now if we add, npx Visual Studio, we add something.
Oh, all my demo data is gone. What the hell? Clean. Save. Yes.
Okay, that was the problem. All right, I had a feeling. All right.
Woo.
Okay, so it had something to do with this part here where we are. Okay, all I know is it wasn't Pulse, and that makes me very happy right now. That makes me extremely happy that it was not Pulse. Okay, all right. I was panicking. Okay,
good. I'm 100% convinced the problem is that I put the wrong version, that I copy and pasted from an older package JSON. Oh my gosh.
It's all good. It's two devs just deving, you know what I mean? Just doing our thing. It's all right. Cool. So now, yes, we're getting events as they happen in the database without having to do any type of, like, we're not doing any calls here, we're not selecting, we're not doing anything, right? It's just automatically grabbing the event because we have this connection alive, and it's forever listening to the Pulse stream.
Yeah, we get the full app.
It works on my PC. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, now it works on my PC too. Cool. Yeah, we get the full event. That's awesome. It's real time. Yep. The server works.
Yep. And then what you would do is, now that you have access to all this data, you can do anything you want with it, right? So a good example is like a new user's created in your database. And you want to send them a welcome email. Well, now you have, as soon as that user's created, you have their email and you send them a welcome email, right? Like, because the event returns. It really returns anything you want it to return. You can set what you want it to return, but it returns the entire event. So
sweet. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this makes me feel good. It's been an hour and a half in the stream, so I want to take a quick break to not even a break, interlude to say, Mark, I'm really enjoying this. I'm glad this was great timing for us getting it to work. Sorry that my copy and pasting is what broke everything.
I don't know if that was it. It's just, that's doing it live. It was a symptom of doing it live, right? That's what happens.
Doing it live. The reason why, by the way, for anyone who's new here, we're streaming is a few reasons. One, I'm co-organizing a conference called SquiggleConf, and now that my screen is sharing, I'll show you all the website. 2024.squiggleconf.com. Tickets available now, October 3rd through 4th, mostly October 3rd, in the Boston New England Aquarium. That's right, a conference about web dev tooling in the freaking Boston Aquarium. It's attached IMAX Theater. Going to be a fantastic time. Prisma is one of our lovely sponsors. We love them so much, we gave them a whole row to themselves. also because alphabetical order. And Mark here is, I'm sorry, what was your position again? Head of all the DevRel at Prisma?
Yeah, I basically run the entire. No, I'm a manager of developer advocacy. Yep.
Manager of developer advocacy.
Yep.
I think your coworker Petra just sent annoyance vibes to me across the internet. Cool. So yeah, Mark is here helping me build a real-time Q&A chat app. The thing we're working on right now actually has a working version, which I posted on GitHub, real-time QA with Prisma Pulse. Let me get that repo. Here we go, in the chat. So what we've been copy pasting from is proof that this thing actually does work. And it's very exciting. We're going to be using basically this app, just looking with a little more CSS, nicer during the actual conference to send Q&A with the speakers after their talks. Cool. Mark, am I missing any contextual information we should throw at people?
Contextual information? No, I don't think so. No, I mean, we'll keep on going. I'm quite curious on people's questions about Pulse, or maybe ideas you might have of what you could build with it. Pulse is a very new product, and we're continuously improving it. So one of the big things we did was adding delivery guarantees, which before it was quite bad if things went down and you kind of lost events. Now that doesn't happen anymore. So that was a big request from our users and things like that. So I'm curious to see what people think. I think we have one question about just kind of the return message about why it's not returning the model name as like a message in lowercase versus what the model name actually is. I don't really know if that really matters, but the main thing is it is what the model name is, right? It's message. So I don't know if you would really want to change that just for if you're doing some kind of comparison or you're doing some kind of check there. You would want what it was actually called, right? That's kind of my thought process there. Got a question: why use extend instead of putting stuff in the constructor?
I'm excited about this question. I too am interested. I think I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you.
Well, no, I want to hear what you say. What do you think the answer is? Because that means if you know the answer, that means I've been doing my job properly. So
so I think there are two reasons. One is that you want anyone to be able to extends that it takes in like a general interface or type shape. You don't want to hard code it to just the Prisma supported ones. So then that narrows it down to you could either do a .extends or have like a field in the constructor like extends, which is an array of whatever. But I'm guessing the reason why you chose .extends instead of an array in the constructor is that you can then have the things return additional properties to put on the Prisma instance, which is a little easier to do in TypeScript typeland this way.
Yes. So you can add more, right? We want you to be able to use all of our products with one Prisma client, right? Rather than having to redefine the Prisma client a bunch of times. So, and along with any extensions that you make, right? You want to continuously extend things. So,
sweet. Nicely done. It's intuitive. It makes sense what you're doing. Good. Yeah.
Josh proceeds to get completely wrong. That's great.
Why the dollar? Does some syntax highlight? Oh yeah, you can't use .extends. Oh yeah, no. Why the dollar?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. I don't know. I have no clue.
Okay.
I didn't write this part. I don't know why the dollar. I mean, I think it's probably syntax, like making things similar to other syntaxes or things like that. But I might be completely wrong there.
Okay.
I mean, if you look through this, all of our kind of client additions, because extensions is something we actually have. They all use $, right? So.
Okay. Oh, immediately.
Except for message, of course, because there's one that doesn't. I have to be wrong. That's great.
Yeah, no, you're right. Message is the name of the thing. So all the database tables are non-$. So like the Prisma methods have a $sign to disambiguate. Sweet.
Yep. I just liked how I was like, oh yeah, they're all $, and then there was one that didn't show up. Like, God damn it. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Maybe it's
whoever wrote it was a PHP dev. I don't know if that's the case. No, that's funny.
Not all web dev is just PHP at the end of the day. Cool. All right. So we've got the server working, and the server can listen to the database. So there's now a real-time hookup from database to server. But there's another part of the app that we haven't even touched at all. We haven't even made a folder for the client. And I'm going to say we've been here for about an hour 40, and I don't think that setting up a new Next.js app is like the most relevant, interesting thing we can be working on. So if you don't mind, would anyone, Mark, would you be upset if I just copy and pasted the client and then walked through the code?
Not at all. It has this. The client side of this doesn't really have much to do with Pulse to begin with. Right now, you can think about Pulse as a backend. It's a backend real time feature. We're thinking about things on there because we realize it is a little. You have to do a few things to get things to the front end. But right now, just think about Pulse of what do I want my server to do based on the database, not the client. And I think that enables you to create a lot of different ideas that maybe you wouldn't have thought about otherwise.
Makes
But
sense.
a chat app is a very common idea that comes up. So we have examples on here of how to get those events from the back end to the front end using something like Socket.io.
Cool. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. It's not hooked up yet. Oh boy, there is an error. I probably shouldn't have dismissed that so quickly. Trying to fetch. Oh, it's trying to fetch to / Okay, so cool. Let me actually just walk through the code first. So yeah, so what we have here, it's again forked from the very base Next.js starter. So for those who don't work in React, that's fine. You don't have to do React things or no React things for us. Just we got a very basic app which uses the Inter font. That's like one that Vercel ships with Next.js, which is like a nice meta framework, a way to set up your front end app. The main page we're going to work with is page.tsx. This is a little bit React specific, but we can breeze through it. So I've set up 3 callbacks here for whenever there's a message received, a message deleted, or a message updated. And whenever we receive that particular action, the CUD from CRUD, I set the message history, which is a piece of state, typed as an object where the keys are strings and the values are message. Where message is, I just did it manually here. There are ways to import from the server, but it's the same thing from Prisma. And then, so now we have this message history piece of state, which is an object where all the values are messages. And skipping past the effect stuff just for a moment, we're rendering messages sorted, where I'm object.values them sorting by the number of upvotes, which we'll see how to do in a moment. And then so we got this nice little array of messages, and I'm for each message rendering the message view, which we can, before we go into the delete and send vote, it's just a quick little helper component that renders some Tailwind classes. Shout out in the chat if you have strong feelings on Tailwind, and like the dates, the message.upvotes, the message text, and so on.
It's actually funny you talk about the Tailwind thing. So along with running dev advocacy, I handle the website and the web team and things like that. And I get in debates with our lead at web engineer about Tailwind because she's not a fan, but I am.
Oh, she's not.
No, she's not a fan. No, she's been a front end dev for a long time, right? So she has and I will admit she has better ways of doing things, but that's because she's been doing it for so long, right? It's like a experience thing. In my mind, I'm like, I just want to write some classes and get this thing done with because I'm not a front end guy, but it is what it is.
That's fair. Yeah, I think Tailwind is a beautiful system, and it doesn't scale as well or in the exact ways I wanted to, but oh my god, is it so nice just to write some freaking CSS classes,
Yep.
Oh, so easy.
I agree. I mean, back when I was learning, I used to do this. I didn't used to make Tailwind, but I used to have a CSS file that I would just use in every project with the same classes, and they were all utility classes. They were like very simple. Like I want 5 padding around everything. Okay, I have a padding 5 class, right? And it's just like that's the way it was. So I used to do this all the time because I was tired of always rewriting the same things. So
yeah, strong agree. We all ended up doing that, and now Tailwind just does that.
Yeah, now Tailwind does it. Damn, we could have. Why didn't we all just come up with that idea, right? So why didn't we just all come up with Tailwind? But yeah,
we'd all be driving our Lamborghinis. Cool. I will note, by the way, that the server is, I'm going to put it back to port 4000 because that's what the client expects. But yeah, so the clients, the way the client works is, okay, so when it first boots up, so it runs this, when it first starts, is it fetches all the messages from localhost 4000, gets them as JSON, sets the message history, where we're making an object from the entries where the keys are the message IDs, the values of the message. And then here's an interesting thing that we haven't touched yet. There's a real-time thing Socket.io, which is the real-time WebSocket connection from client to server. So I'm saying make a new IO, which points at localhost 4000. And whenever it receives a chat message, deleted, updated, or message deleted or updated, it calls the appropriate handler. This to message received. There we go. Cool. So without really diving deep into how WebSockets work or whatnot, what I can just quickly show is before we hook up the real-time stuff, that if we make a new message, we even see the existing ones from the server. New message, yay, send, and refresh. I need to restart my server. Oh no. Oh no.
Doing it live, man. We're doing it live. Yep.
Let's open the network tab and zoom in. So Socket.io won't work yet. What did I do wrong? Well, oh, you know what? I think I used Socket.io for message for creating. Oh yeah, that's right. There's no way to create a message. There's no endpoint for that. So what we're going to have to do now is set up on the server the ability to send and receive messages from the client. So the client has this Socket.io thing, which is a socket ref. That's like the pointer to the WebSocket connection with the server. And whenever we want to create a new entry in the database, we emit from the client that there is a chat message with some data. So now on the server, we need to handle that. Mark, have I understood how this all works correctly?
Yes. As far as my awareness of how this was built, I did not build this example app. So I'm stretching my knowledge, especially on the front end part of this. The back end part I built a bunch of times. The front end part, I'm like, I think Nico's the one that built this, and I maybe should have asked him, but he's actually on sabbatical right now, so I couldn't actually ask him.
Fun.
Yeah, he's having a great time. So I think the best way to go about this would be copying out the backend file from the one that's working, and then us walking through it the same way you kind of just did before. Yeah.
So first things I see here are from socket. We have import star socket from socket.io, and then we have the type server, which isn't used yet. But I see io equals new socket.server, which takes in the server. Put that down there. Cool. So we enable cores, the ability to cross ORs and resource share from like one local host to another thing. So now we've set up that it can create a socket.io connection. And then this is the handler for when we do get the connection, that on connection.
And I believe based on so as you can see there, the socket on. So based on the name of the socket is the thing that we need to do, right?
Cool, yeah. So just to make sure this is working, it says socket on disconnect. We get the user disconnected log. And then when the user connects, we get the user connected log. Oh, it already showed that the user connected. So the front end must have attempted to join the socket.io thing. Let's close the network console. And actually, fun fact, there is a WebSocket debugger thingy section in the browser DevTools and Chrome DevTools. So if I send a message, new message, yay, it shows up that, okay, I'm attempting to send, and apparently this is the message format socket.io uses, tuple with chat message as the event name and new message yay as the data.
That is very cool. There's so much in Chrome DevTools that like you don't know about until somebody tells you about it, and now I'm like, oh damn, I'm gonna use that. It's extremely. There needs to be like a master class on just Chrome DevTools.
Yeah, I had a coworker once. Shout out Adam Reineke. He's over at Salesforce now, who gave a fantastic talk once. It was at I think like a Redmond JS meetup years ago. That just went through like 15 cool DevTools features, and every single one of them you could see the jaws like violently hitting the tables of what the hell? How did I not know that? It's awesome. Okay, cool. So I also see we've got the user disconnect and connect logs. I clear terminal and then refresh. I don't know what this YAF. Oh, that's the ID.
Yeah, I think that's the session ID or.
Cool. So let's just add in this first handler, socket on chat message. So whenever we see that message, the one we just saw, we log it and then we await prisma.message.create. Now I will yet again shout out that this is well typed. If you do like, I don't know, my text or something instead of text, it gives you a complaints.
Yep.
Ooh. It even suggests, did you mean to write text?
Yep. Yeah, that's
Should
one
this
of the
work?
beauties. That should work. Knock on wood. But yeah, I mean that's one of the beauties of the ORM and the client is you don't really necessarily have to even remember your database structure once you make it. Because then it kind of tells you while you're writing code. Oh yeah, these fields exist, right?
Hell yeah. I hit send. Received message. This should work. Heck yes or awesome. Ooh, I didn't know that. Nander gives a pro tip in the chat. Use socket.any to console log everything.
I did not know that either.
Thank you. Cool. Sweet. And then if we refresh the page, yay! It works.
Yep. So it wasn't updating, right? We're still not getting the thing directly from the server yet, but the refresh returned it, which is good.
It's a start.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm just going to go ahead and then, Mark, if you think this is reasonable, just like copy and paste when we receive a deletion request and when we receive a vote request from the client here. So I think those are pretty similar, right? We have message.delete and message.update.
Yep. Although there is a line there for upvotes, I wonder why that's there. Do you see that? Data upvotes. There's like a little blue squiggly. Am I seeing things? Is it my eyeballs?
Oh, that's my
unknown
spell
world
checker.
Word. Okay.
I'm gonna.
No, that's fine. Leave it.
My user
Okay.
set.
Add it. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Cool. So I think what we still need to do is add back in the stream chat messages with the IO like inside of the server.listen there, to get this to work, and then update the stream chat messages function with all the cases, so we can start seeing things happen in the terminal as well.
Yeah. Cool. So just to understand, just to recap, previously we set up stream chat messages so that whenever we receive an event from the server, we just log it, but we're looping over all the events, however long it takes to get all of them. And I see from it's actually really not that much code here that I can just copy and paste. So if I understand right, based on every event that we receive from Prisma Pulse, we then take a different action, like we emit a different type of thing to the client. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what's happening. And really, you said like we're getting a group of events looping through them. It's really we're just getting one event per time, but because that for await is of the way it is, it basically allows us to not have to. It's just an easier way to write this, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like it just keeps that connection alive, and it's always you're not going to get like a group of events at one time unless you're restarting your connection, and then in that case you would, and then it would loop through everything. But normally it's just one event. And it's instantly reacting right away.
Cool.
Yep.
That's really nifty. Awesome. So just to make sure I understand, io.sockets.emit can be called on either the client or the server. And either way, it just sends the event to the other one. So like this is the send message. This is what happens when you hit the submit on the form. It sends that there is a new message, and that sends it to the server. And then also the server emits the client, oh, there's a new chat message created. You should update your states. Is that right?
Yes. As far as I'm aware, yeah, of how Socket works. I mean, that makes sense to me. So
cool. So in theory, if I go over, refresh the page just to be safe, real time maybe, and hit send, while we can see the server server terminal, clear it. Real time. Received message, new event for Paul. Oh my god, and it's there.
Yep.
Woo.
Heck yeah, we did it. We did it.
Shout out Prisma Pulse. Cool. And also if I delete, receive deletion, new event from Pulse, action delete, sends it to the client deletes. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, you notice there's a little bit of a delay between the server and the front end. That's the socket.io part of the server of it listening and then updating the client. But yeah, the server, it's basically instantaneous. As soon as the event comes in on the database, Pulse listens to it, reacts to it, determines if you want it, and then gives it to you.
Awesome. Well, this freaking works. This pleases me. I will note that this is not the UI we will be using at SquiggleConf. We will have a slightly cleaned up UI, although I will try to keep the skull emoji for the delete. This brings me joy. If I were like a fancy schmancy user, I would, or like the front end dev, I would, put in pending or loading states or optimistic whatevers, but add a script.
Yeah. So
Cool.
your goal is for, a speaker to have this up and then be able to answer questions as they come in. That's the overall idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Currently, our plan is that speakers will receive either 12 or 35 minutes, depending on the length of the talk. Maybe it's 14, some amount of time like that. And the MCs will have this open, and then we'll be able to select from the questions what they want to ask the speaker. That way, if we see people ask dumb things, like inappropriate things, or like, the MCs can tailor the experience a bit. I also want to give a quick shout out to our MCs because they're awesome. I love both of them deeply. Nick Nisi and Fatima Sari Khalid. They're freaking awesome. I'm really excited about this.
It's gonna be a great conference. I'm excited to hear about it and watch it and things like that. So
thanks. We'll try to get you next year.
Yeah, we'll see. I told Tyler to just put me in a suitcase. I'll come up there with him, but not big enough. He uses a duffel bag. I don't think I fit in the duffel bag. It's a duffel bag guy.
Terrible, but you would fit in the suitcase.
I think I could do it.
Good to know. Filing that away. Yeah, Mark. I have time. We're just under 2 hours. Is there anything else from Prisma Land or any other cool things you want to show us?
Oh, I mean, yeah, but we could sit here for another 2 or 3 hours. So I don't know, but maybe we do this again in the future and we go over Optimize, or we go over Accelerator, or just do a real deep dive into the ORM. Overall, the goal of Prisma is to make good developer experience and to help you guys make powerful applications that use databases and your data layer, make it very easy for you guys. So lots of really cool things we're working on, and thanks so much for having me and wanting to use Prisma Pulse and showing it off. And I'm excited to see what people think about it at SquiggleConf, and yeah, it's going to be great.
Awesome. I've but a few more questions for you.
Sure. I'm gonna put us on big faces. Yeah, that works.
Big faces.
Cool. Yeah.
Are there, you've alluded to having big exciting stuff coming up soon a few times with a few different projects like the studio and Pulse. Are there any features in particular that you're willing to describe in the abstract that you're excited about?
Nothing that wouldn't get me talking to. So no, I can't do that. But I will say this. Prisma, we have a very dedicated group of people that is very passionate about making incredible things for the community that uses them, right? If you look at our current our most recent releases, maybe over the past 6 months to a year, every single one of our releases has been focused on things that the community want and has been calling for. And this goes across our ORM and all of our other products. We are fully invested in keeping the ORM being the best ORM that exists. So we want to make sure we're staying on top of that, and then making all of our products really valuable for our users. So while I can't say exactly what is coming, I can say communicate with us, let us know what you want, and chances are those things might happen. So and you could probably deduce what might be coming based on GitHub and things like that. So
oh, we're no longer sharing. I was about to go on the GitHub and sort by thumbs up.
Oh no. It's all part of my strategy. I can predict something like Prisma AI. We actually already have Prisma AI. That's inside of our product called Prisma Optimize. So one thing you can do is log in, and the recommendations that Prisma Optimize provides you basically says, hey, you can make your queries better, or you can update your database to have an index here, and your performance will be better. And then we have a thing called Prisma AI that allows you to ask questions about that particular recommendation, and it basically helps you implement it into your application. So it's not a product; it's a feature of another product. But yeah, and we also have a AI bot on our docs that is really great. If you're looking for something on our docs, I highly suggest using that over the search, just because it gives you exactly what you want, and it's context. It has context based on our documentation and things. So yeah.
Cool. What questions would you like to be asked now? Things you haven't gotten a chance to promote or just talk about?
Oh, what questions would I want? I mean, honestly, I'm more curious. Yeah, I'm really just curious to know what people are building and if they think our products would be useful to them. I mean, one thing that we are really trying to do is expand past the ORM. So I'm also curious to see if anybody knew about any of our products before the stream, like the people in here. Did you guys know about Prisma Pulse? Did you guys know about Accelerator, Optimizer, Studio before I even talked about them? If not, then that's good to know, because I need to do a better job at promoting these things. But also, yeah, like, what are you guys building? What do you think? Do you think any of our products would help you build things? And um, yeah, it's just kind of, I would be really interested in knowing about that.
Yeah. I think that the inevitable progress of any area of tech is that people are going to find the common difficulties, the common tasks, and write automations or wrappers or DIY, but with the templates around it. And I think Prisma, it makes a lot of sense to me that, okay, you've basically mastered the ORM. There's not that much more that could be done there. It's great, but what comes next? Like, we all have ORMs, such as with Prisma. What are the things you can do, such as database optimizations or real-time updates with Pulse? So it's really cool to see that, like, more and more of the common modern application can just be built in to the, say, ORM or wrappers around it.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, the insight into things. I think I'm always curious to see what others outside of Prisma think, and like how you, like what you just explained and how you explained it, because I guess I'm like, so I don't want to say in the weeds, but I'm like, I'm inside of it. So it's always interesting to hear how you would promote it or talk about it. So thanks. I appreciate that. That was wonderful. We do have a question about Supabase. I don't know if you want to read it and then I can answer it.
Sure. Grab the DevRel, by the way, posted two interesting things. One is an article about using pure CSS for neural networks. I'm guessing that's not something we should go into right now, but it does sound interesting. And the other one is the message you've posted on the screen. How do you compare and contrast Prisma and Supabase? Parentheses, sorry.
So, Supabase is I'm not going to say they're just a database, because they're not just a database. They're a suite of like tools that are, in comparison to Firebase, right? That's kind of where it got its start. Prisma is not that. We are not a one-stop solution of all of these tools and that you would use together as basically your back end as an infrastructure. We are tools that you can actually use with Supabase, right? You can use all of our tools with Supabase. We build all of our tools to be database agnostic to the best of our ability, right? So we want things to, is agnostic the right word? We basically want things to work with Postgres, MySQL, Mongo, SQLite, and we want everybody to be able to use our tools to make using all of those databases better, right? Now, I don't know, that doesn't, I mean, that maybe 5-10 years from now, maybe we do have databases or something, but I still think the differences between what we're doing and what Supabase is doing is that we're not trying to be that, I guess, entire backend for you at this time. And we support Supabase. We love Supabase. I mean, we have a very good relationship with them. So we're not really even trying to compete with them. It's more of a how can we help you? How can they help us type of relationship. So
Yeah, no matter what, if any two tech companies in vaguely similar areas live long enough, they will eventually touch each other's projects in some way. So it's really nice to see that your relationship with Supabase is friendly and you make each other great, not hostile.
Oh yeah, and I think, I mean, that's kind of our I don't want to say a motto, but our way about going about things. We just want to allow people to make great things. We don't care what you make it with. I mean, we want you to make it with Prisma stuff. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? We want you to use our products, of course. But we just want to help people make great things, man. And so if you use Supabase for their real-time stuff, but you use Prisma Accelerate for our caching and connection pooling, cool. That's great. Thanks for using, thanks. And we're not going to, we don't necessarily stop you from doing that. We have different ways about going about things that Supabase does, or we have different ways about going about things that Planet Scale or whatever, right? And it doesn't really matter. Everybody has their own ways. Well, yeah, we think we build our products on purpose to work with these companies, not against them.
Cool. Graham notes that they would like to see the hostility. I think Graham's going to be disappointed.
He wants the hostility. Yeah, it's everybody likes a little bit of drama here and there, but that's what Twitter's for, right?
Yes. Cool. Opening up or asking the chat. This is your last chance. Any last questions for Mark? While they're all furiously typing away, Mark, my last question for you is: what is your perfect Saturday?
My perfect Saturday. Probably sitting on a beach with my dog and my friends. Not too hot, not too cold, like a nice 75 for Europeans. What is that, probably like a 27 or something? Just hanging out on the beach, listening to good music, hanging out with your friends, relaxing. Maybe have some good food. That's a good Saturday. It's a solid Saturday. Spending time with the people you love in a place that's nice, for sure.
It's an excellent Saturday.
Yep, I think so.
I'm sorry. Follow-up question: what food?
What food? Well, where I'm from, we used to fish on the beach, and we would have bring grills with us so we could cook the fish that we would catch. But a lot of times we would also have hot dogs and burgers and things like that. You don't want to bring anything that's too crazy because sand, sand's a thing. It's everywhere. I hate it.
It's coarse.
It's coarse. But yeah.
Cool. Graham,
appreciate that.
Setup.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Cool. Well, Mark, thank you so much for hanging out with me for now over 2 hours, not to mention prep time yesterday and coordination. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm sorry, I lied earlier. Last question. If there are any links you would like to have viewers, listeners find you and or Prisma on, what would those links be?
Yeah, sure. The main things would be follow Prisma on Twitter to stay up to date with what we're doing. I don't. You have the links. You're pulling them up. I can't type for some reason. It's not letting me type in the chat, or I would be. The Twitter, then our Discord, which is priz.ly /Discord. That's a great place to interact with the community and ask questions and get help. And honestly, I love our Discord community. It's wonderful. It's growing very fast, and a lot of people are posting a lot of cool things in their projects, things like that. And then if you want to follow me, I'm at mhesdev on Twitter. And right now, basically all I post is Prisma stuff. But sometimes I post things about, for instance, Washington Commanders just won last night. So, I post things about American football and things like that sometimes. But I do plan to do a little bit more than more content stuff in the future. But yeah, Mark Hestev on Twitter.
You're a Commanders fan.
Yeah, I am a Commanders fan. Unfortunately, although last night was wonderful. Last night, that was the best game I've seen in my entire life. So,
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks. Woke up with a smile for sure. Yeah, it was good.
Sweet. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks, Mark. And then from my end, y'all, if you want to follow me, I'm Joshua K. Goldberg on a bunch of things. I'll post my Twitter, which is one of those. Thanks, Graham. I appreciate it. I would prefer you not to follow me, given your CSS Neural Networks comment earlier. And then also SquiggleConf 2024.SquiggleConf.com. Also just SquiggleConf.com. And it's happening in 9 days in October in Boston. And I will see at least one or two of the people in the chat here. This has been fun. Bye.
Been great.
Mark, I think you have to press the...
I do have to press it. Bye, everybody.